Welcome back to NCC Sports. I'm Tyler Dudley. Final Four is here and March Madness is rounding around the corner. I'm here with my analysts Frank DeLuca and Jude Allume. We're going to break down the Final Four for you. Let's start with the Cinderella story that everyone's talking about. Sister Jean and Loyola Chicago against number 3 seed Michigan. What do you think these two teams have to do? Or let's start with Loyola Chicago. What do you think Loyola Chicago has to do to kind of push through Michigan?
They're going to need some more of that divine intervention that they've been receiving. I mean, they've got such a hell of a run thus far, Sister Jean. I love the story. Love the fact that they're doing the Cinderella thing. But they're going to need a little bit more. Like, they've won three of their four wins have come as a result of last-second buckets. I don't think against this Michigan team they're going to be able to rely on that as well. They're going to need to score points, and they're going to need to keep up with them. They're going to need to distance the score because I feel like the edge is going to go to Michigan if it comes down to a last-second bucket again. And they're going to need to contain Michigan. Michigan, they shoot the ball very well from three at over 36% as a team, and they have 5 players who shoot at over 37%. So it's a tall task for them, but hopefully they'll be able to keep the trend going.
Yeah, it has been such a sweet story. Right. Sister Jean, you got to love her. But I think the Cinderella story probably comes to an end here because they're just outmatched with Michigan. Michigan's won 14 games to close out the season and carry into the tournament. And that kind of heat is tough to compete with, and no disrespect to Loyola, they've had a great run and they've been a great team to play against, but I think Michigan just really outmatches them and they come away with the victory.
Now on the other side of the bracket, we have 2 number 1 seeds, both overall incredible teams, Villanova and Kansas. Frank, we'll start with you. What sets these two teams apart from each other?
I think consistency is probably the biggest factor. Villanova really hasn't had the hiccups that Kansas had this year, and man, they are just so complete and they can really shoot the three. Jalen Brunson's the best player in the nation for a reason, and Villanova I think they just outmatched them really because Kansas has had a little bit of a suspect defensive game, and I think that Villanova can exploit that and really move the ball around the perimeter and finish.
Yeah, Villanova's, they're just extremely efficient offensively, the best team in the NCAA as far as points per game. Kansas does have a chance, but they're going to need to play their best ball, their most efficient basketball, and their most consistent basketball. They're going to need to rely on Devontae Graham. He's been the go-to guy for them, making the plays whenever they needed him to, and he's going to have to continue to do that. And they're going to have to contain Nova from three, where Villanova is scoring at over 40% from beyond the arc.
Now shifting to another powerhouse team on the women's side of the Final Four, we have UConn. They are unbeatable right now. What do you think Notre Dame has to do? Jude, we'll start with you. What do you think Notre Dame has to do to kind of break that?
Notre Dame is going to have to play almost a perfect game. I mean, UConn starting 5, like you can put this starting 5 on any other team and they'd be the starting 5 for that team as well. This might as well be the McDonald's All-America starting 5. You could put it at that. I mean, this team is just so good. They're ranked number 1 in practically every category, offensively, defensively. They've been ranked number 1 for the entire season. And, I feel like they have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as a result of losing last season in the national championship, and they're hungry to kind of start a new streak, whereas before last season they had won 4 in a row, and now they're looking to make another deep run. Well, another stretch of national championship wins.
Yeah, if anyone's going to beat UConn, it's going to be another 1 seed. UConn is undefeated. They've got the best coach probably in college basketball history, and they've got so much experience, as all these teams really do. So I think if anyone's going to beat them, it's probably going to be Mississippi State in the final. But UConn's just, they really seem like they're unbeatable, and this season they literally have been unbeatable.
Now, real quickly, let's bring it back to Syracuse a little bit. Darius Bazley just decommitted from Syracuse and committed to the G League. Jude, give me your thoughts on that real quick.
This is a tough loss for Syracuse. This is what many people are calling, and probably is the best commit they've had since Carmelo Anthony. Many people were expecting this was going to be a one-and-done season for Darius Bazley anyways, but, I mean, this is like unheard of territory where you have a commit saying that they're going to decommit and not even go play overseas, but go play in the G League where nobody has done that before. He wants to be the trailblazer. He wants to be the first one to do it and see if he can start the trend, but we don't really know how this is going to end up, and he's really taken a huge gamble on himself and saying that I'm going to be the best player in this league and it's going to help my draft stock, and I'm going to get paid while doing it. I get the I want to get paid part, but if you really just wanted to get paid, why not go overseas where they probably would have given you more money anyways?
Yeah, no one's going to fault him for wanting a little bit of a paycheck here, but I think in the college game, you just get more eyes on you. I understand he's the first to do it, so this is kind of like the trial run. We'll see how it turns out. But basically, kind of, he's taking a risk here, and it's high risk, high reward potentially. And at the end of the season, we'll see how it turns out. But I think personally, well, if you're Syracuse, you're disappointed. But I think playing at the college level would have been a fun stage to see him perform on.
I completely agree. Well, thank you, Frank. Thank you, Jude. Stay tuned, stay with us, because baseball is back in season.